Hi there. I thought I'd upload another video under the same title as my previous one and delete that one because it was a bit long. Just wanted to update you. Delatronics, as such, been going since 1996 and it's now not working anymore. I've retired. I had a motorcycle accident 7 years ago, and things are just with a pandemic and everything, things are a bit difficult in the market at the moment. So I've decided to completely retire. But the website's still up there, just for information purposes. I'm no longer buying and selling stuff. I was buying a lot of reel-to-reels from um, eBay, servicing them, selling them, and I was also doing a lot of other servicing on CD players, modifying. I've stopped all that now because I'm no longer in the UK. Um, as I say, all my machines were sold off before I left, but I managed to take this one with me, which is my personal favourite. This is a Tascam TSR8, and it's an 8-track, and it runs off half-inch tape. And this has got all the toys on it, all the location point selectors, digital tape counter, 8 tracks. And what I tend to do, if I want to use it in a domestic sense, I would get a tape, which is 10.5 inches on this one, and I would record 4 stereo tracks. So obviously left and right is 1 and 2, etc., etc. These really, the Tascams particularly, are the last. This is the last sort of model really that Tascam made in tape, and the electronics are so advanced, and the mechanism is so advanced. It's been honed over many years that they're not only reliable, but they sound incredible. I mean, there's not a big difference between the playback sound of one of these and the actual original on CD or wherever you want to record it. It's just a very, very, very slight amount of hiss, if anything. And obviously you get a softer sound with this, a tape sound with it. It's not a hard digital sound that you can't listen to for more than half an hour. This thing you could listen to all day quite happily, because it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't batter your ears, should I say. It's very, very nice, the tape sound. I'm going to use this for recording, proper recording, like drums, bass, keyboard, etc., etc. I've got a proper interface, Digidesign interface, and I've got software on the computer, but I'm not going to go down that route because, quite frankly, sort of music recorded on tape just has got this magic about it. If anyone, obviously people that are watching this will know about tape and how good it is. So basically this is my holy grail, if you like. A TSR8, really, really good construction, good sound quality, metal. It's not one of these ones that they made late, like the TX3, X7 and X10. They're all right, especially up. The X3 is not much good, but the X7 and the X10 are better. But the problem is with them, they were built down to a price, and the motors they use for on each spool and for playback were just not quite up to it. They're not as reliable as something like this TSR8, which has been extremely reliable, and I would say is a lot more reliable. Yet it's got the technology, so the sound's really good. Obviously, half-inch is a slight problem for some, because obviously the half-inch tapes are not quite as readily available, and they're more expensive. But if you wanted to go for a 1/4-inch machine, my recommendation would be something by Fostex, and the 2 models that come to mind are the M80 or the Model 80 and the R8. They're quite similar to each other. The R8 has got a few more features on, but either of those, the sound quality on those is fantastic as well. It's probably just as good as this TSR8 actually. The only trouble is with those models is they were built down to a price, and I mean, they're pretty reliable as long as they don't fall over or you don't jolt them or knock them, because there is a tendency for the bobbins to come loose, to fall off inside the unit, and then you have to take it apart and put them back on again. There's videos on YouTube about that, repairing that. It's not a major thing, but I don't know, I like quality construction myself. I'm a bit of a stickler for that, and I mean, on this is all metal, there's no plastic on it. It's just the buttons are plastic, this head cover's plastic, but everything else is metal. It's so well put together, so good. This has travelled 6,000 miles in a flight case, and it's still fine. The other thing I want to say about this is the main reason why I got rid of my ferrographs, because I love the ferrographs. They were great, really good character in those. Not nowhere near the sound quality of these, but they were still very characterful. The reason why I got rid of them is because they are AC motors, and where I've moved is 60 hertz frequency, and if I was to have brought one of those here, it would have run fast, because they only run at 50 hertz UK frequency. You can't adjust the frequency on them, unlike the Akai's. The Akai 4000 series, you can adjust frequency, but on this one, because it's using DC motors, all I need to do is use a step up transformer, and Bob's your uncle. It's working perfectly. There's no noise on it whatsoever, no buzz, 60 hertz buzz, nothing. It's working perfectly, and you know, it survived in a flight case, in a shipping container. So I'm pretty happy with this. So yeah, so I'm not really going to be doing too much on these now, because I've just got this one recorder. Where I am, they hardly sell these things. It's not as popular as the UK reel-to-reel, but obviously I will bring out some other videos on maybe different subjects, or maybe do some sort of tutorials on servicing these perhaps. But yeah, I'll just play this so you can, I don't think you'll be able to hear the sound, but here we go. Yeah, so as you can hear, I hope you can hear, it's really good sound quality. And I've just pressed return to 0, so there we go. And then it senses the tension on the tape and slows down, so there's no nasty, it gets exactly the right spot, exactly. And just on that note, the R8 is quite accurate as well. The Model 80 is not quite as accurate, but I wouldn't touch the A80. The A80 from Fostex looks really nice with the VU meters there and everything, but it is a bit of a mess as far as location goes. It doesn't stop anywhere near the area, and also the sound quality is not as good as the R8. So if you want to go 1/4 inch, my recommendation is the R8. But as I say, R8s, I mean the TSR8, which is the top really, is only about £100 or £200 more than the R8. So you may as well go full out for a TSR8, Tascam TSR8. I've looked at the other alternatives on the market, but I think Tascam is the best. I would personally, if you wanted something for the house, just to try out, if you want that tape sound, then I've worked on a great deal of Akai 4000 series and the 3000 as well, and I would probably recommend them as a starting point for a domestic unit, because they are pretty good. I don't recommend Sony. Basically Akai are really good, and all the models around that sort of time, the 4000 range, they all share the same transport. What else? The Revoxes are great machines as well. You can get them mostly in 2-track versions, but they do come in 4-track. Revoxes, the benefit of getting a Revox is you get a quality machine, you get reasonable sound, and also if anything goes wrong with it, you can just take the back off and basically slide out the card that's defective. For example, if it's not recording on one channel, you can either take the card out and reseat it, or swap the channel 1 over with channel 2 to see if the fault moves. It's quite easy to fault find those. So if you want something that you can perhaps get into fault finding yourself and tinkering with, plus the fact that boards for those Revoxes are they're sort of available quite cheaply on eBay, so you can just swap out a faulty card, chuck it in the bin and buy another one for about 25-30 quid. So Revox is pretty good, but if you want, they sound good as well. The 15-inch ones can sound good. The best sounding Revox, in my opinion, for warmth and everything, I would say would be the A77 Mark 1, but it does look a bit horrible. But that, if you're interested in sound, that is probably the nicest sounding. Failing that, obviously the other A77s are pretty good. The B77s, I've worked on all of them, and they do tend to sound a little bit thin. I don't know what they did to the electronics, but they didn't do it really any favours, because they do sound thin, they don't sound warm. That sort of tape sound's disappeared a bit. They're all right, don't get me wrong, they're all right, but if you want the best, you have to go for something much more modern, like this Tascam. As I say, I can't really recommend it high enough really. But as far as 2-track machines go, I'm not sure whether Tascam do a 2-track. They probably do actually. It's bound to be pretty good. But beware of the sort of lower numbers. I think there is 22, there's a 34 as well. I had a 34, which is a 8-track. That's a little bit plasticky, but that's quite impressive as well, the Tascam 34. 38 uses 1/2-inch tape, and that's the poorer version of this one. It uses the same heads, but 38 is a little bit of a poor relation to the TSR8, I would say. As I say, the 34 is pretty good actually. Little bits of plastic here and there, but it's pretty good. I had one, and it's quite accurate as well. When you go down into the, I think there is a 32, which would be a good 2-track alternative to this. But once you get down to the 20 series, the 22, etc., the quality does go down quite a lot. You basically get what you pay for, but obviously this Tascam, when it came out, it was I think it was nearly £4,000 when it came out, and now I mean you can get them for 800 or even less on eBay, so it's definitely worth getting. If you need any spares for these Tascams, Tascam Ninja does spares for these. He's very good, very reasonable price, and he can do some good deals on used parts, used and tested parts. He's a good guy to deal with. So if you need your heads relapping on whatever machine you've got, there's a guy out there near in Hertfordshire, and he's called Summertone Limited. So Google him if he's still going. That is, he does head relapping, and it's cheap. I would say for a 2-track head, you're looking. When I last had one done, they're about £25 to relap a 2-track head, and it really comes back like brand new. And obviously the beauty of relapping your heads is, even if they don't need particularly relapping, the beauty about relapping your head is that it gives you a lot less tape wear and obviously better sound quality in the higher frequencies. But yeah, these Tascams, they've got very solid heads. Some units, some TX have soft heads. There are some units around with quite soft heads, so they will need relapping. Very, very hard heads are found on ferrographs actually. They're fantastic. I've never seen a ferrograph head worn down, so ferrograph are very good and long lasting, extremely well engineered. But they can be quirky. And you need to research a bit on ferrographs, see my other videos on them. But yeah, there we go. If you've got any questions, I'm going to try and enable comments on this video, because the last one, for some reason, Google automatically turned off comments. I'm going to enable comments so that if you need to ask me a question or whatever, I can hopefully help you out. But thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it.